What is up, guys? It is Skin22 back bringing you some more World of Tanks action today. This time around, we are in our T32, which is the Tier 8 American Heavy Tank. We're on the map Siegfried Line, which is one of my favorite maps, especially for heavy tanks. It's got the city, it's got nice ridge lines, especially for American heavies. 10 degrees of gun depression with almost impenetrable turrets, tier for tier. It's a great map. And the spot you're going to see me going to, if you're driving a T29, a T32, or even an M103, or especially a T34, if you don't use this spot when you're the attacking team on the assault game mode on Siegfried Line, there's something wrong with you and you're driving one of these tanks. This spot right here for this tank is absolutely overpowered because unless you're in a tier 10 game, really nothing that's going to be facing you in the city is going to penetrate your turret. I can come up here where you see I'm about to go. You see the tank up there? It's a Black Prince. Black Prince is one of the worst guns on a heavy tank in the entire game for its tier. Lack of penetration. He has absolutely zero chance, maybe even with premium rounds, to not go through my turret. And at the way the hull is angled, the hull in the T32 isn't bad. And when it's angled back like this, he has zero chance of going through. I'm just going to sit here all day long and put shots into the flat part of his hull that he's just letting me shoot. Like, there's really nothing he can, honestly, there's nothing he can do. He can take out my gun, which is annoying, because he's going to hit me in my gun mantlet 5 times. But he's dead, and there's really nothing he can do about it. And even in IS-8, he's not going to penetrate me. And he's just going to give me his lower plate of the pike in his nose. It's just too easy, to be honest with you. And I have a Jagdpanther 2 with him, and he's just going to do the same thing. He's going to pop up, take the shot. And right here, when you have an opportunity to take a gun out of the game, even if it's only the gun on a Black Prince, maybe if I don't kill him right there, later on in the game, he's going to come back and do damage to me, or even kill me at the end of the game. If I have an opportunity to take a tank out, especially that's still on 200 health, like I don't feel like I'm totally wasting the shot, I'm going to take him out, because it's one less gun shooting back at me. And the IS-8's just going to sit here because he's tracked, there's nothing he can do. Again, lower plate. The T-32's gun only has 198mm of penetration, which is exactly the same gun on the T-29, but with maybe a little bit better fire rate, I'm not entirely sure. But it's still applicable for these games if you know where to shoot. Like, shoot between the wall right here. This is a nice shot, right between the wall, right in his side armor. And the gun's good, but you can't sit there and brawl with heavies with this gun because you're not going to penetrate a lot of upper tier heavies with this gun. You have to know where to shoot. Like right here, Tiger 2 has to be lower plate. Only chance I stand of penetrating him at that angle is lower plate. Or maybe I can get lucky and hit the machine gun port or whatever it is on the front of his upper plate. But that's the only way I'm going to penetrate him. My counterpart in a T-32, again, the fact his gun is underwhelming, but he's angled well, and the T-32 is not a bad armored tank, even on the hull. I bounced off his lower plate, because I only have 198mm of penetration, but he knew what he was doing. He angled the tank properly, and you can see by the stats on the side over here, he's the Joe average player just like I am, but he knows what he's doing, and so do I. It's not that hard to drive a T-32, to be honest with you. It's probably one of my favorite tanks in the game so far. I should have taken that shot, but I don't want to hit the M6. But if you'll see later on, that would have got me my Top Gun medal if I would have killed him, because I'm going to end this game with 5 kills. The T-32 actually shot me right there. I don't know where that penetrated, because I don't think that angle he could go through my upper hull either. So that might have been lower hull, but I don't really check. I don't feel like looking around either. But I can sit here and trade shots with him all day long, but I'm not liking the situation, because they have a T-54. One of their 2 Tier 9 tanks still alive on the right side of me with a Pershing. And there's a T-32, T-34 in the town. And out here on the left they have an M41 Walker Bulldog and the IS-3. So I want to have as many guns, or as few guns as possible to have a chance to shoot me at one time. And then I don't realize is there's a T-69 back there in the bushes, and he's going to unload his autoloader in my back. He only got 3 shots, and the first one hit my tracks only, luckily. And while I'm tracked here, I have really no choice, so I'm just going to push a shot into the IS-3 as well. Now, the T-69 is reloading, and we have, 3 or 4, 5 tanks over here that are going to shoot at him. So I know I don't really need to worry about the T-69 anymore. I don't know what the reload is. I think it's, 26 seconds, something like that on the T-69. But there's a more dangerous tank right here in the T-34 with, he can go up to, 500 something alpha damage. I only have 920 health left. I don't need to be getting shot by these guys. Even if it looks like we're going to win at this point, you never know what can happen in a game. So I take that opportunity to try to shoot the T-32, but honestly, that shot looked like it went right between his drive reels. I don't know if that's possible or not, but that's what it looked like. And I do sacrifice some health right here, but again, I'm able to hit his lower plate again. And then somebody puts a huge shot in a T34. I don't expect him to be looking at me, so I popped the corner to kill him. But he was looking at me, and I bounced. I don't know if I hit the turret or the upper hull at that angle, but I survived a whopping like 500 damage right there from that T34. It's not going to mean anything, obviously, because they only have a T54 left. He's a good player, but he's not going to kill all these tanks in the position he's in. He's right here in the town, and you'll like to see my driving as I run into a pillar, which for some reason on this map you can't knock those pillars down. I don't know why. But anyway, good game. We're going to go right ahead and we'll jump into the post-game stats. I'll see you in a minute. Now here on the stats page, we see that this was a first-class mastery badge, not an ace tank here, unfortunately, but that doesn't matter. I already have my ace tank in my T32, I think 4 times, 5 times, somewhere around there, and the meaningless ribbons, fire for effect, duelist, and fighter. Unfortunately, we missed our top gun by 1 kill, which I probably could have gotten if I really wanted to on the back of that IS-3. It's like kind of annoying that I didn't shoot him, because I didn't realize I was going to be a top gun medal. No high caliber either, even though we did over 3,000 damage in a mainly tier 8 game, which is kind of surprising, but I guess they had a lot of hit points on their team. We finished first on our team in XP by almost 100. You can see the only medal given out in the entire game was to this Super Pershing for his Confederate medal. But we finished second on damage, actually, to our E75, but he gets little experience because he got 0 kills. And he's also a tier 9 tank doing damage to almost entirely tier 8 tanks, so that's how the XP works. We fired 16 shots, hit 15, I don't know which one was that missed. 12 penetrated for 3,091 damage. We took 9, 4 penetrated, and the 5, mainly from the Black Prince, were blocked for 1,140 damage. That just shows you how subpar that gun is as far as alpha damage and penetration. Couldn't penetrate me. And for 5 shots, that's the only damage I've blocked in a tier 8 game. That's just telling you that gun does not do a lot of damage. With a premium account, we made a 21,000 closer credit profit, and we made 1,771 experience, which is good because I'm on my way to the M103, which is the next tank I'd like to get. But since I've fallen in love with the T32, I no longer wish to sell the T32 to help me for my credit situation with the M103. So I'm just going to save up and buy the M103. And then I'll have the M103, the T32, and the T29 in my garage. Because I can't part ways with any of them at that point. Because they're all great tanks. And if you learn to use the gun depression and impenetrable turret to your advantage on the T32, tier for tier, it could actually be better than the T29 in my opinion. Because it takes more skill to drive when you're shooting the same gun at tier 10, tier 9, and tier 8 tanks. Where you actually have to aim. You're not just facing a KV-1 like a T29 does sometimes, and you just shoot the front of the tank and it goes through like butter. Basically, the T32 has a higher skill cap, in my opinion, than the T29. The T29 is probably one of the easiest tanks in the entire game to drive, because anybody can jump into it for the first time, mount the 105mm, and do easily 2,000 damage on like 5 or 6 shots. But I have my female crew. I have one female crew member from the heavy tank set of missions for the Stug 4, and she is in the T32 as my commander. So hopefully I will complete all these Stug 4 missions pretty fastly. I'm close on everyone except for the SPGs, but honestly I don't know if I want to go for them. But it would be nice to get Sisterhood of Steel in my T32. So we'll see how I decide to play that. But it's going to be a tank that I keep for a long time to make credits with a premium account and have a lot of fun and great games in that you might see some more of here on this channel. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Once again, this is ViperSkin22, and I will see you next time. Peace.